Oh, you're going to appreciate this question.
Oh, okay. Ooh.
The constant news cycle at the moment is really getting to me. What should I do? Because we talk about this in our own little WhatsApp chat world.
Yeah, it's really hard not to let it get to you.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have an answer because I would say it is getting to me. But I do have a few things that I would do. But I think the first thing to say is that if it's getting to you, it just means that you're a human being.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way around that. But I think limiting your access or limiting your consumption of news, like don't forget these past 10, 20 years has just seen this explosion in the way we consume media. Before that, we were reading a newspaper once a day or turning on the 9 o'clock news and reading it and listening to it, watching it rather. And that was it. You wouldn't necessarily be getting updates on your phone, checking the website, refreshing the news, listening to podcasts. You know, now there's just so many ways that we are hearing about some of the many atrocities that are going on in the world. So I would say just as best you can, try and limit that. Maybe think about the source that you want to get your news from and tap into that once a day.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do also think it's a good idea to try and vary your news sources as well.
Mm-hmm.
Again, within limits, because you don't want to be looking at all the different news sites. But that's probably the main thing, isn't it? I mean, just limiting your access in the first place to certain times. And then it's all about, obviously, then how you manage and look after yourself around that. Remembering that there are there's only so much power we have as individuals to affect change, but that we do have some power to affect change in the world. And that's also, I think that is quite reassuring as well. We do have some power, but at the moment it is feeling a little bit bleak in how we actually use it.
I really struggle with this because I do limit where I get my news from. Strangely enough, I don't see a lot of things that I don't want to see on social media, actually. So I'm not very active on Instagram.
I'm mainly following comedians on Instagram. That's basically, we send each other, our love language is like sending each other funny memes, usually about parenting on Instagram.
Yeah, normally. Yeah. So I think that really helped, like being very conscious of that. But I'm also in the back of my head, I also don't want to avoid the news totally either because I don't want to be ignorant. I don't want to not know what's going on. It's a really hard balance. And sometimes if I feel like it's tipping over and I'm feeling quite overwhelmed, I do have to scale back. And there might be days or weeks where I think I just can't at the moment let my head go there. And which I also find really challenging because then I feel really guilty about that because it feels quite privileged to be able to be like not letting your head go there. Yeah. But also I feel like I'm not going to help to change things in the world if I don't know what's going on. So I really struggle with that balance. There are definitely times in my life where I get quite overwhelmed with the news cycle and things going on in the world. And I have to get quite small in my world. Yeah. So I do things like, I sometimes I completely turn off my phone, like just for hours at a time. I just have no contact, like nothing can get to me. I might take the dog for a walk, try and do something with the kids to just get me. I find being in the moment helps, which I'm not amazing at. I'm very, very much someone that lives in their head. So I do things like mindfulness, which you talk about all the time, like being present, doing something that's just about that moment now. I try and find ways to do that. But as you say, it's part of being human and we can't totally, we can change some things that are going on. And also I think but we can't change everything. But I also think it's helpful to think about it as try and focus on being the person that you want to be in the world. Yeah. We can't always change everything. We can slowly push towards or help to push towards how we think things should be. But we do, and it's this idea of like what you've got control of and what you haven't. We do have control of who we want to be in the world, how we want to show up, whether that be with our people around us or, people we interact with, or doing our best to try and change things, bigger things in life where we can. But I totally get this. Like you say, it's bleak sometimes and it's hard.
Actually, I love that. Have you ever read the book on burnout by Emily and Amelia Nagoski?
Yes, I have.
And how they talk about, you know, when you feel a stressor, you need to complete the cycle. You need to do something about that stress to move through it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I feel is really damaging about some of the news cycle at the moment, is that it's coming at us. And then we can't do anything about it. You can't do anything to move through it. So even just finding one thing that you might have a little bit of power to change, exactly as your example suggests, just how you're showing up in the world, doing something that makes you feel like, okay, I've made a small bit of difference in somebody's life in a good way, in a positive way. And it's not obviously fixing the problems of the world at large, but it is at least moving through that cycle for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then that continues to allow you to show up in a way, you know, one of the things that I think is important as parents is to be educating our kids on what's going on in the world in a, you know, in an appropriate way, obviously, so that they will show up when they get older and hopefully change something too. So you have to focus on just the small things that we can affect change around.
First episode, new format, loving it. If people want to get in contact, so everyone wants to put their questions in my favourite thing in the world, the tombola, my pride and joy. How can we do that? So you can comment if you're watching or listening to this on Spotify or YouTube, drop a comment and we'll see that, and it could end up being one of our questions. Equally, people could DM us if it's something that you don't want to comment. Equally, we'd really like to know if there's any topics that people want us to cover, or things on your mind, or things that are interesting to do with psychology in the world, or just humans in the world that might pop up. And whilst you're thinking about comments and that kind of thing, it might be a nice opportunity to rate the podcast, share it. We're new. We need the word to get out there, and hopefully we're hoping this is going to be something that's helpful for people, interesting and helpful. That's kind of our objectives, I guess. So yeah, anything that people can do to help us with that, liking, sharing, I don't know what the other, rating. I mean,
I believe, yeah.
This is the person that didn't know you could talk into AI till about 20 minutes ago. So any technical stuff that can do to get the word out there, we would very much appreciate the support. Right. Until next time.
Until next time.